Error messages can happen to the best of us. They're annoying, but they aren't hard to fix. If you're receiving a no signal like the one you see on screen right now, or a tuner has not been set up, or no channels in master list message, you need to do the following. First, check that all cables are physically connected to both the TV and the input device, such as your cable box or game system. Make sure they are connected securely. Then, check that the input device is powered on. I cannot tell you how many error messages are solved just by powering on your device. If that didn't work for you, you'll need to take additional steps that vary on the type of input device you're using. First, I'll show you the steps you need to take if you're using an antenna and coaxial cable. And then I'll show you the steps if you're using component AV or HDMI cable. Feel free to scroll ahead in this video to the steps that fit your device. So let's get started. If you're using an antenna coaxial cable from the wall or a cable satellite box connected to the TV with the coaxial cable, you will need to do the following steps. First, press the input button on your Vizio remote to view your current input source. Make sure that the TV input is the input that is selected. Second, if the TV input is not selected, press the input button on the remote until the TV or DTV input option is selected. At this point, on some of our models, you will see a message that says, "Tuner has not been set up." Simply press the OK key to run the scan. If that option does not come up for you, then press the menu button on your Vizio remote and select Channels. On some older models, it may be listed as Tuner. Select the option that says Find Channels or Auto Channel Scan on our older models. Now it will scan through the channels. This may take a few minutes. Once the scan is complete, it will say Done. Press the OK button on the remote one time. This will go back to the Channels menu, and then you can press the Exit button to leave the menu. Use the Vizio remote to change your channels. Now, if you're using a cable or satellite box connected with the coaxial cable, it will find 1 to 2 channels. Once the scan is complete, you need to press OK or Done, and then press Exit to leave the menu. To change channels, you will need to use the cable or satellite remote. Let's move on. Here are the steps you need to take if you're using component, AV, or HDMI cables. Start by pressing the input button on your Vizio remote to view your current input source. Now select the appropriate connection. For AV or composite and component cables, you need to select the COMP input. For HDMI, you will need to verify which HDMI input the cable is connected to, and then select the corresponding input. For example, if the cable box is connected to HDMI 1, you will need to select HDMI 1 from the input menu. Once that's done, you will use your cable or satellite remote to change your channels. Alright, that fixed the message for me, but if you're still receiving a no signal or no channel in master list error message, please visit support.vizio.com. There you will find helpful articles, tools, more videos, and contact information for our support team.